Welcome to the feast, I unleash, I'm a motherfucking beast.
Alright, so gonna do a bulking grocery haul for you guys. Honestly, it's not really like bulking, like I'm eating like a normal amount of food for someone who works out a lot. So a lot of my grocery hauls in the past have been all on prep. So when I was cutting and I was eating very low calorie, very low carb, but this is a good example of a very balanced diet, a very healthy diet. So I really wanted to show you guys a full grocery haul of like restocking all my essentials so that you can get a good picture of what I actually eat when I'm not cutting, like what is healthy. So let's dig in. First, I got Silk cashew milk. Come on, autofocus, help me out. All right, I got cashew milk I use it for my coffee and shit like that. So then I got 2 cartons of egg whites because protein, duh, and my battery's low. Yay, I'm in focus. Okay, so egg whites, and then I got a gigantic thing of peanut butter because we always run out of this. Matt and I eat so much peanut butter. And then I got 3 little sweet potatoes. There. I love having sweet potatoes with coconut oil melted on top and mixed in, or with peanut butter on top. Carbs and fats together just taste really good, because duh. And then, kind of like leaning forward. And then I got, this is actually a new find. It's a Joseph's Flax Oat Lavash pita bread. Usually I get the big lavash wraps like in my last full day of eating, but I saw the lavashes that they had at this giant, and I saw these, and the macros on these are 2 fat, 9 carb, 4 fiber, and 6 protein, and the other ones had like too much protein for me because I honestly, like, I have the opposite problem of most people. Like, I go over my protein too easily. So I want to try these out for my little burritos. Maybe I'll like cut the pita in half and stuff a bunch of veggies and meat and rice in here. So that was a really cool find. I love pita bread in general, anything carbs. And then I got this thing of brown rice. Usually we buy brown rice from Costco in like a bag like this big, but we're out and I didn't want to go to Costco, so I just got this for like $1 to pass us through until we do go to Costco. And then I got 99% chicken breast tenderloins, yeah. And so these are 99% fat-free. I like the Nature's Promise ones, not necessarily because they're organic. I mean, organic is great, and if you want to shop organic, that's like all the better for your health. And I mean, I personally like am not huge on getting everything organic, but I have noticed that the organic stuff does taste better. So, just FYI. And then, of course, 94% lean ground turkey. That's always been a staple for me. More carbs, just one of these. I like to keep 2 of these stacks on hand at all times, so I have one already. I just picked up one more. Best flavor of gum by far. Let's see. I got 2 zucchini. Just like zucchini, I have my staple vegetables I always come back to. One of those being broccoli coleslaw. It's just broccoli, carrots, and red cabbage, so it gives me a little bit of vitamin A in there from the carrots, and it adds a lot of volume because 85 grams of this is just 5 carbs, 2 protein, so it doesn't really make a dent in your macros, but if you're having like a stir fry with this, it like adds so much volume instead of like adding extra rice and having a ton of carbs for it, you know? So, this is like my all-time favorite vegetable, Brussels sprouts. And I'll show you guys in this video how I prepare them. Actually, I'll do that. Good idea, Marissa. And then broccoli woccoli. I think it's so cute that they like titled it that, but always get a little bag of broccoli. And then lastly, oh, that's it. Lastly, I got 2 big heads of cauliflower for my cauliflower cream of wheat, oats, whatever that I have every morning for breakfast. I don't know, I've been having it since prep and I haven't gotten tired of it. So I'm just gonna keep rolling with it, but I always get 2 heads of cauliflower. Pro tip, if you buy the head instead of like bagged cauliflower, it does cost less if you just chop it up yourself. Same goes for like iceberg lettuce. If you buy that in bulk instead of in bags, it's a lot less money for the amount that you get. But I'm lazy, so that is my grocery haul, and I'm gonna meal prep all of this now. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple of tips for how I like to prepare these foods, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next clip. Bulkasaur. Alright guys, so I'm doing a voiceover for meal prep. I feel like it is very important for me to do a voiceover for this, even though it seems kind of ridiculous, because I want you guys to know the little details of everything I do for meal prep on a weekly basis, especially when I'm in my school semester at college. This is something I do every week and I have to do in order to stay on track with my macros, and I think that you guys can find something helpful to implement into your weekly routine. So here I'm making Brussels sprouts. I'm chopping them in half. I have sprayed the aluminum coated pan with Pam spray, and then I laid them all out, cut in half, sprayed them with Pam one more time so that the seasonings will stick and so that they'll get like a crispy texture to them when they bake. Just putting Himalayan pink salt and pepper on there. Into the oven they go at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 35 minutes. Depending on the size of the Brussels sprouts. So these ones were a little bit bigger, so I did like 33 minutes and checked on them, and if you need to keep them in for a minute or two after that, then you can obviously just add a couple minutes, but they should look like this when they come out, browned and crispy, and you should be able to still see some of the lighter white color as well as the crispy brown edges, and that's how they come out perfectly. I just put them in a Tupperware and throw them in the fridge so they're ready for use, or if I'm meal prepping for the whole entire week, I'll divvy them out into their separate Tupperwares and make full meals out of them. Here I'm cutting up zucchini. For some reason I don't like to cook it all at once unless I'm doing a bunch of Tupperware meal preps for the entire week. So I'm at home for winter break right now, so I don't need to be prepping my meals for the entire week all at once. So I literally just chop all of these zucchini up into dime slices, and then I chop those in half, and then I just throw them in a Tupperware, throw them in the fridge, and then they're ready to cook whenever I need to throw some veggies in a meal. So right now I kind of make my meals on the go. I'll just have Tupperware of like foods in bulk in my fridge, and then I can just pick and choose whatever I want. So here we're doing sweet potatoes. I am poking a bunch of holes into them on both sides with a knife, and then I'm pulling out some aluminum foil, and I'm actually putting the foil straight into the oven on the bottom shelf. So here the oven should be off, and then I'm just placing the sweet potatoes in there on top of the foil so that they'll drip onto the foil, but baking them straight on the shelf for 50 minutes to an hour. And then here we're doing chicken. These are the spices that I use on my meats when I cook them. And here I'm putting down the salt, pepper, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder. And this is a combo that I've really grown to love. I basically learned the combo from my dad, who would just take all of the seasonings in the cabinet and dump them out onto whatever he was cooking, but this is a combo that has stuck for me. So I'll do that, cook it on one side, and then flip them over, and then put the seasonings on the other side in the same amount. I use a generous amount of seasoning. There's nothing wrong with using a lot of seasoning. If you're using high sodium seasoning, then maybe I would say to cut back a little bit on the amount if you're hypertensive, but other than that, there's no need to cut back on the amount of seasoning you use. So there I showed you the final product of the chicken. Here I'm doing the same thing with 94% lean ground turkey. So this is one of my favorite meats to have. So I'm squishing it out evenly onto the pan so that it cooks evenly and it's a little bit thinner. And then here, obviously, wash your hands, guys. If you touch raw meat, you need to wash your hands, and any utensil or cutting board that touches raw meat, you need to wash that too. So, putting those same seasonings, chili, cumin, garlic, onion, salt, pepper in generous amounts onto that turkey, turning the stove on, not the oven, and covering it, and then I let it cook for a while. Here you can see I'm slicing it into fourths and flipping it over just to make it easier to flip, and then I am putting those same seasonings on the other side in the same generous amounts as the first side. So my method of cooking chicken and turkey are basically the same, except with the ground turkey I just like to break it up. So I'll cover it and then I will flip it over again and break it up into a bunch of pieces. I cut that clip out, but here you see I have a bunch of little pieces and lumps of ground turkey all cut up, flipped around, and I'm just divvying it out into this Tupperware container. And I think this clip was supposed to be sped up, but oh well. So you can see I'm just scooping it up and throwing it into that Tupperware. So I have my meat in bulk to be in the fridge, to be ready to go, to just throw into a meal and heat up whenever I need it. So here's the finished product of my ground turkey, nice and steamy. And then here we go, sweet potatoes are done. Turn the oven off and let them sit in there until the oven cools down. So this is going to allow them to cook just a little bit more, and then once the oven's cool, you'll have no problem just taking them out of the oven and not risking yourself getting burnt. So this is a very safe way to cook your sweet potatoes, as well as a great way to get them fully cooked through. I like my sweet potatoes pretty like mushy and completely cooked through, so that's how they're coming out with this method. You can make them come out a little bit harder if you do maybe 45 minutes and then take them out a little bit sooner, but just be careful when you're reaching into that oven. So I hope you guys liked that voiceover. I talked pretty fast, but I hope I got through everything and it was clear for you guys. And let me know in the comments below if you implement any of these strategies, and I would love to know what has helped you and what else you would like to see from me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and subscribe to my channel for much more coming soon. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.